Good afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and for those whom are wondering, and I know there are none, why my box is missing, I have restarted this because I forgot to turn the microphone on. That is the kind of professionalism we have in our home. So today, because I felt like it, and I threw the show together real quick because I've been playing way too much Apex today. I'm going to do Darkwing Duck. And this is a version by Sibsy on DeviantArt.com. I think she did a great job. So I'm going to just base mine off of hers because it's close enough to the original version that why not?
So probably was a good thing. I'm not going to go through the whole
No.
Sipsy thing, but I will say that she was a former storyboard artist for My Little Pony, and she also worked on the Darkwing Duck and Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger comic that came out a few years ago when Disney was doing their their Disney Afternoon reboot with their comics. The comics were really good. Since I'm a huge Rescue Ranger fan, the Rescue Ranger stories were really, really nice, and unfortunately only lasted like 8 issues, and then they kind of killed it off. Darkwing Duck, I think, lasted maybe a little bit longer, maybe about the same, and that went away also. DuckTales is still going. They're now doing the DuckTales comic that's going alongside the new TV show,
Cool.
which has been good also. But,
Yeah, I yet to get into that, but it looks wonderful.
yeah, I've seen a couple episodes. I've been wanting to sit down and just binge watch because it's what I've seen I really liked. So, plus this new season that they're talking about is going to be absolutely crazy. So that should be pretty fun.
Well, since I haven't seen even the first season, I look forward to the potential craziness of whatever season this is.
Yes.
Sorry, folks, I work way too much.
But hey, the fact that they have David Tennant as as Scrooge McDuck is always is just fascinating.
He seems to get fascinating roles. He plays either unbelievably serious things, or he does stuff like Doctor Who or cartoon voices.
Or when he was Purple Man from.
That's what I mean
yeah.
about serious, yeah. Like really, really crazy psycho or very dramatically serious kind of.
Hey, that just shows that he has good chops on him. Well, good for him.
Yeah, well, and it's just kind of awesome to see actors that, and the words take themselves not too seriously is perhaps not the right thing to say, but willing to just, hey, no, this looks like fun. I'll do this. Hey, this looks like, well, it's like, is it Joe Pesci on Home Alone?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that dude is not a children's movie actor. I mean, he just isn't. He does a good job, but you end up going like, that dude is that is a dark, foul-mouthed actor right there.
Well, a lot of times I've discovered that a lot of actors, they'll do an all ages thing or a kid centric thing because they said they want to do something for their kids that their kids could watch, and they want to have a little bit of fun and just take a bit of a breather from a lot of the serious stuff. So that's why a lot of them will do stuff like that. So,
Oh, sure.
yeah. Which is why we see The Rock in a lot of family friendly or all ages stuff. Cause he's like,
Well, it's not like he's been in a lot of like super dramatic roles. I mean, he's been in action movies.
Well, I'm
but-
saying a lot of action stuff, and then he's also been in a lot of kids stuff too. Well,
Yeah.
all ages stuff. And, I mean, he was Maui and Moana, and he's done some smaller tiered animation stuff.
It's funny, I actually like The Rock, but it just seems to be in every animated movie that I don't like. It's either not exactly don't like, I have issue with. That's because, like, was it Planet 51, was that it?
Yeah, with the alien,
Yeah.
the alien astronaut. Yeah,
Yeah.
That was good.
Which was not like a remotely a bad movie at all, but it also was kind of like I saw it and then I just never thought about it again. And
It had so much promise. It was one.
it did,
I liked it for what
but it
it
wasn't
was.
terrible either.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it was it was average. It was good, and that was it. I thought it was fun, and it could have been pushed so much more.
Yeah, I think that was my issue with it. Is there was bits of it that I'm like, there's so much promise here. Actually, that's what Moana was. Is there was a ton of like promise, but there was actually less delivery on Moana than there was on Planet 51. It's like at least with Planet 51, you kind of had some, at least for me, moments where I felt something. I didn't feel like I was watching a commercial for a soundtrack.
And to be fair, though, with Planet 51, you have a bit more of a connection to that because you like the sci-fi space kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
there was stuff there that I was digging, and I'm not. But the thing is I like sort of mythological like Odyssey tales too, and that's essentially what Moana was. And I just that one just felt like such a waste. But it's like that's like I'm not like judging the guy. It's like, for example, everyone loves Will Ferrell, and I don't care for really a whole lot of any of the live action stuff that he does. Nothing against the guy, but his voice acting stuff I love. It's just like, so it's like it's just like The Rock is the opposite of that, you know.
Yeah, I mean what was it? Didn't he do like a Tooth Fairy movie? And he did a what was it the Return to Witch Mountain? And but I heard he was pretty fun in was that in Jumanji?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that. Maybe
I
he
heard
maybe
that
he
was
is.
actually pretty good. There was that, and what was was it Jumanji or was it a different one with the people? Or yeah, it's Jumanji where the kids go into they're playing the Avatar characters in a sense.
I remember it's the one about the, prehistoric island board game. I don't know about
Yeah.
Avatar.
No, I'm not saying Avatar.
Oh,
I'm saying
Avatar as in-
they're
as
playing
in-
a character. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
think
not
that's
like
Jumanji.
Last Airbender.
No,
Okay,
or-
I was
or-
going like I don't remember them doing stuff like that.
No, the kids were playing representations, or
Yep.
say the characters were playing representations of the kids. That kind of Avatar.
That looked really funny, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so I can't actually say if it was good or not.
was
It
like-
looked solidly funny. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was like The Rock.
is it Kevin Hart?
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
Because Kevin Hart is sort of like The Rock's, for like Sylvester Stallone had, what's his name? You can do it! That guy.
I was say Dennis something, but no.
That's not right.
Yeah, it was
I'm missing it too.
Bruce Gigolo, or Bruce, male Gigolo, Bruce guy.
Deuce Bigelow,
Deuce
male
Bigelow,
gigolo,
yeah.
yes. A guy I actually thought was pretty funny. But yeah, it's like Kevin Hart is like The Rock's version. I feel bad for not remembering that dude's name because I legitimately thought that he was funny, and I'm feeling bad for not remembering his name.
Survey says.
I'm gonna feel so bad. Is it Rob Schneider?
Uh,
Did I get it?
Yes, Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. Awesome.
Yeah, that was one of those silly, stupid movies. We got a chance to see it for free in college. But yeah, back to what were we talking about?
I have no idea.
Oh, cartoons, big name actors doing
Oh, right,
animation
yeah.
and
And not that
family-friendly
not that
stuff.
anyone has to please me at all. I just one of those things where you end up going like, I don't know.
Well, it's like Sylvester Stallone and Spy Kids. No, not Sylvester Stallone. Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, what was up with that?
Well, it was actually something. He was either like he was producing it. He had something to do with it. So
Maybe he
there
did.
Was, yeah,
I
there
mean-
was something with that, and I'm blanking on what it was, but he actually had something to do with that production of it being out there. Actually, let me see. Spy Kids. Antonio Banderas. Let's see. Yeah, and actually written by Robert Rodriguez.
Now that I remember. I always thought it was
yeah,
funny
yeah.
that he either did like these really exploitative action gore fests or he did children's movies. I always thought that was hilarious.
Let's see anything about that. I'm not talking much about it, but yeah, I think it's because Robert Rodriguez probably worked with him on that. But I know there was
Oh,
something.
sure. Well, it
regarding
makes
that
sense,
while
I
he
mean-
was on there, yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, they were together on like the various mariachi movies. Yeah, I think I'm thinking I'm remembering that right. It's also the weekend, and I'm fairly certain I'm still a little toasted from work this week, but. I actually have all the Disney stuff, and I liked a lot of it. Some of them I just sort of have fond memories of, but like Tailspin. Like I just don't want to go back, but I've got fond memories of it. But there was something about Darkwing Duck that I thought was really awesome because I always thought, that was like Disney's chance to really kind of develop like a superhero Justice League kind of thing. And I know they pseudo sorta did it in the show, but not like very seriously. And I kind of was going like, I actually think that Disney could do sort of an animal, superhero sort of Saturday morning cartoon, and they sort of, in a way, sort of do in their shows. Like, there's like Gizmo Duck and that kind of thing. And I'm not saying use those characters, but I was kind of hoping that they would do more because I actually really, really enjoyed Darkwing when I was, the right age. I guess I was probably 13. I guess.
Let's see, Darkwing was
11.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because no, Darkwing came after Rescue Rangers. That would have been like early 90s.
Should have actually made the head a little smaller, but I guess I just will not fit the entire hat in.
Oh, it's right off the page.
Yeah, I will. I just.
Because this hat is huge.
Yes, I kind of did a quick it's about right now. I'm going like, man, I was off. I was like, maybe it's like a little more than a head, and I'm looking at it going like, man, it's like 2.5 heads, just off one side.
I like how like the history of Darkwing Duck, he was based off of Darkman, and like Darkman and the Shadow.
The Shadow, to me, it was the
giant
Shadow
cat.
and Batman is what it felt like. Darkman is a bit of a surprise to me because Darkman is super dark and is not very much like Darkwing at all. I mean, it's like literally like a burn victim going out for revenge against the people who wronged him. I mean, it's just called Darkman for more than one reason. Matter of fact, I haven't seen Darkman in so long. I might want to go rewatch that.
Yeah, I'm really surprised no one's taken up that mantle yet.
Maybe it's just one of those ones where, like, the generation that watched it thought it was really great, then nobody else, for whatever reason, is going like, yeah, Darkman, let's.
Let's see, Darkwing. Secret Identity of Drake Mallard, a parody of Kent Allard, the alter ego of the Shadow.
Yeah, I was about to say, it really felt like the early superhero stuff, but also felt a little bit like Batman, too, which is from the same kind of action detective genre.
Reminiscent of all the pulp and golden age superheroes such as Shadow, Sandman, Doc Savage, Batman, Green Hornet,
Sandman?
and Julius Schwartz's Flash, as well as Lone Ranger and Zorro. And Saint Canard is a direct parody of Gotham City. Canard is the French word for duck, of course. I thought it was Darkman was in there for some reason. Oh well.
Yeah, not a problem. Not remotely a problem. I was just going like, really, Darkman? That's a odd choice.
I know for a fact that the Shadow was in there. But
Yeah, no, that. Well, I mean, he basically, if I recall correctly, has his hat.
I didn't know the Shadow. I'm trying to think. Who am I thinking of? Was the? I know the Shadow had a hat. I'm blanking.
There's the Shadow and the Spirit. Both of those two were kind of similar.
Yeah. What am I thinking of? I'm picturing somebody in my head that thought, come on, brain. And it's been a long week.
It's been a bit of a one, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're ready for dinner.
I think for you had a little bit tougher time than I did, but I think for both of us it was a little long.
There's the original Sandman. not the Neil Gaiman one.
No, I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, this one, Sandman, the name of Wesley Dodds, is a fictional character who appears in American comic books published by DC, the first of several DC characters to bear the name Sandman. He was created by writer Gardner Fox and artist Burt Christman. Attired in a green business suit, fedora, and gas mask, the Sandman used a gun emitting a sleeping gas to sedate criminals. So
Awesome.
that's where Darkwing Duck and his... Okay,
Yeah.
He was originally one of the mystery men to appear in comic books and other types of adventure fiction in the 1930s, but later was outfitted with a unitard cowl costume and developed into a proper superhero, acquiring sidekick Sandy and founding of the Justice Society.
Well, that's kind of the thing that I always thought was funny was, and I like superhero stuff quite a bit, but it's also like, dang it, you guys, you don't have to make these changes just to fit everything. It's like characters are awesome because they're different.
That's a great picture.
And put them in a
Yeah,
unitard. And
Yeah, I
I'm like,
mean,
you don't have to do
look at
that.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's now I remember that character. Yeah, and I always loved that because it was like an old Private Dick character with a gas mask and a gas gun, and it's just that is just off and weird enough that I'm like, yeah, that's good stuff, you know.
Okay, the spirit, alright. I know the shadow. I know the spirit. I'm trying to, what am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Yeah,
What do they look like?
Well, heck, maybe it is the, purple, all purple onesie, covered his head, made,
Black mask,
black mask, yeah.
spirit, I believe.
No, but, was that the spirit?
The spirit, or there was a movie. There was a movie made by that, and maybe it wasn't the spirit. It had
The spirit was Will Eisner with also that had the,
Okay, you're right. It was they made a movie around late '90s with Billy Zane or
yeah, I
something
remember
like
'cause I
that.
thought that was, for some reason I thought that was the shadow.
No, the shadow is it was the guy with the big hat with the
Yeah.
red scarf and the big nose.
Yeah, this dude. Yeah, you're right. It's this guy. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's him.
So,
Yeah, there's a number of those that are just really great characters because they're just part of this like weird brand of superhero that just isn't done anymore because everyone has to have a cape and a leotard and which is fine, but I just go like I like variety, so it irks me that they took the variety out of it, and I'm like
It's gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna find this. That's gonna bug me until
the spirit, the phantom, Phantom.
It was the Phantom.
Because he was like a modern day pirate hero in a leotard, which was like awesome and goofy at the same time.
Phantom superhero. Yep, that's the guy I was thinking.
Woohoo! My brain's working pretty good.
Yeah. It's funny. It's in working in the comic world. I just began looking and realizing how many comic titles begin with the letter S. It's really bizarre because when I would alphabetize and put everything all together and getting stuff ready for the comic shop and
Sure.
everything, the S section was absolutely just
Gigantic.
packed compared to everything else. Because we alphabetize by superhero or.
But the Y section, always empty. Except for Y Man.
Well,
Y Man!
superhero wise, there was Youngblood.
Yep. Was it like Youngari or something like that?
Youngblood, Young Justice. Let's see, what else do we have in the Y section? There's a few indie titles that were coming out.
Yo Gabba Gabba, Trail of Blood, and Redemption.
Kids section.
I'd read it. You'd be like, wait, what's going on in this? So this is a version of Yo Gabba Gabba I can get into.
X-Men section was usually pretty good because we just
Yeah, I was about to say all the X titles.
yeah, that, and we pretty much put almost everything X-Men related in there, so it wasn't just X-Men, it was Wolverine, Deadpool, Phoenix, Cable, all those guys all went down there, so yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's funny because the Batman section is almost as big now as the Consonant S version, or section, but yeah, Batman and himself was a huge chunk.
Let's get dangerous.
I still gotta finish that one Darkwing Duck picture I started a while back ago.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself in the fan butt because when I was looking for the Rescue Ranger mug that I got,
Mm.
when I was on the hunt for one, they finally came to the Disney store, and they were in the Disney store outlet, so they were way less expensive than I was looking for, which was like, yay,
Sure.
cool. And then there was a Darkwing Duck one that I was like, oh, I'll come back and get that one later. Completely forgot about it. Was gone. Like, oh,
Well, of course it is.
is.
Well, that's why you settle on the small number of things that you know you will just simply buy when you see it, and everything else is just not important.
Yeah, which is why I got the Rescue Ranger one, because of course I was gonna get that one. But it was four of them. It was Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Darkwing, and what was the fourth one? Crap, what was the fourth one? So it was Disney Afternoon stuff. Oh man, wow. I can't remember that one. But I was like, now that Disney Plus is out, like a bunch of people, including myself, have been like, so Disney, so we're gonna finally start getting like some Gargoyles merch back up again, or just merch in general for a lot of the old school Disney stuff that just seems to not get made. Like we pay you, we promise.
Oh, they don't want money. They want lots of money.
Oh geez, yeah, the whole, I don't know if you heard about the whole, with the Mandalorian, the series that came out.
I don't know much about it other than it's apparently something that I should be seeing.
Yeah,
Because it sounds like it's just the idea of it. It looks like Lone Wolf and Cub, but in Star Wars.
yeah, but one of the things was the whole Baby Yoda-esque character, or the whatever Yoda is, one of his younglings of some sort. So apparently, the entire world has fallen in love with the Baby Yoda character.
Oh, it's adorable.
Yeah, to the point where people were like, "Hey Disney, how come you guys didn't like have merch planned for this or something?"
Sure.
So of course, people, as fans do, they start making their own merch. So you started seeing like
Yeah, that's what happens.
plushies being made, crochet stuff, T-shirts, patches, enamel pins. Like everyone starts making their own stuff because we all know the power of fandom can put out
Sure.
anything like just as like even faster than any type of big business.
Yeah, there's people at NASA that are fans.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
to think that it's just a bunch of sweaty nerds in basements is way off.
Yeah, so Disney, as they do, decided to literally start nuking every single Baby Yoda thing that came out of everywhere, and people are like, "Why? Why would you do this to
If
your
you're not
fan
going to
base?"
create it, why do you care?
And I think the thing is that they're trying to come up with their own merch for it, but they're like what 2 or 3 or 4 different things compared to the like 20 or 30 plus things that people are making that's can be tailored made specifically to them. And of course the question always asked, like, Disney, why don't you just hire these people and work with them?
Yeah, your
To get this
research and
worked out.
development's already done. Just pay them.
Yeah.
You
Like,
dinguses.
Yeah, give them a you got more money than the entire world probably right now.
they got a lot.
Yeah, and it's like just pay people a good chunk of that money and then say, hey, can we buy this from you and give you a few residuals, or just say we'll just pay this giant chunk of money to you to buy it from you, and
Yeah.
yeah, here you go. It's like I don't understand why they just wouldn't do that instead of just
Yeah.
going and
That's
And-
not
and
corporate
yeah,
culture.
and stepping on all these people saying, no, you can't do this. Because, I mean, the proof has already been out there that fan merch helps guide
Yep.
towards official merch.
Yeah, My Little Pony proved that.
Yep, and they did it right. One of the few times that corporate stepped in and said, okay, we're cool. It's looking fun.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And I think it's on Disney Plus also. The show, if you remember the cartoon Mighty Ducks.
I remember the movies, The Mighty Ducks.
So there was an actual cartoon.
I don't remember it.
Oh yeah, I remember watching it. It was kind of interesting. A planet of anthropomorphic ducks. And
Wasn't it about a bunch of kids playing hockey?
That was the movie. Those were the movies. There was Mighty Ducks 1, 2, and I think there was a third one. Those movies are actually kind of fun. Me and my high school best friend kind of missed her. She passed away, unfortunately. But we went and would see those in the theaters, and we just crack up laughing. But yeah, that was starring Emilio Estevez. And he had to. He was a drug or alcoholic, and that was the kids. Coaching the kids was his community service.
His punishment.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was the whole feel good. They all grew to love each other. Blah blah blah. I do remember like spouting off the phrase "cake eater" for a while after those movies. What are you looking at, cake eater?
That's on that list of insults that I don't get. Cake eater, and the other one was cake sniffer. I mean, they're funny sounding, but I'm like,
Oh,
I'll eat cake. I'll sniff cake.
it was
I have no problems with cake.
It was a term of you're a rich person, because
Poor people eat cake.
well,
I think there was a queen once who said, let them eat.
cake, yeah. The implication, because the majority these kids, the majority of them, they all came from either poor or broken
Sure.
or lower class homes, blah blah blah, and it was a the ragtag team
Of course.
gullible losers and all that, and quote unquote bad kids. And the one kid that joined was from a upper class group, and so they called him Cake Eater because he was rich. Blah 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 blah. But again, they all grew to love and respect each other. Yeah, the one.
Yeah, because it's Disney.
Yep. I thought they were fun movies.
Yeah, there's nothing
Fun
wrong with
watching
that.
them.
Yeah.
But back to the cartoon. Yeah, it was a planet of anthropomorphic ducks, and this team, I think they came to Earth, crash landed on Earth.
And they played hockey.
Hockey was part of it, yes.
Really?
They
Oh,
had-
at
yes.
least they sort of stayed within the basic original theme.
Hey, because of the movies, that's where Disney actually got a corporate hockey team. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks came from that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Why not?
weird segue, I know. But yeah, the show. I'm trying to remember how it began. Actually, it was kind of like not brutal, but the main character.
Totally brutal.
The main character, like either his brother, yeah, his big brother, actually like died as they were coming in, or either died or got lost in a void of some sort. I wanted to say lost in a void because again, Disney.
Was eaten by hockey players.
Close enough. But yeah, it was like the main leader guy. I think it was like the goofy sidekick was either like his little brother or like a
So-
wacky.
So Disney essentially went, okay, we're done with the Mighty Duck movies. Let's make a sci-fi duck cartoon mildly attached to hockey. and completely reinvent Mighty Ducks.
That's
What a strange thing to do.
Okay. Mighty Ducks
I'm not
makes
making fun
sense.
of it, but it is strange.
The show was inspired by the live-action Mighty Ducks films and the NHL team, the Anaheim Ducks.
How?
26 episodes were because they were hockey. Yeah, this was the logo. It was a duck hockey mask.
Okay, but I don't see why. I don't see the connection. It looks like it's just totally forced.
26 episodes were produced in total. The series most recently aired on Toon Disney. Was removed from schedules in November. Blah blah blah. Let's see. Story. Here we go. In another universe exists a planet populated entirely by humanoid ducks, dubbed, wait for it, Puck World. Not Duck World, Puck World. It's an icy planet.
That is really forced.
Perfectly suited for the ducks' favorite pastime, hockey.
Of course.
For the citizens of Puck World, hockey was not simply a sport, but a way of life, occupying virtually every aspect of day-to-day existence. Legend has it that centuries ago, during an invasion by a reptilian race called the Saurians, a duck named Drake Duquesne became the planet's savior over the Saurians' overlords. The legend tells that Duquesne did so with a high-tech goalie mask. With it, Duquesne sent the Saurians to a mysterious dimensional limbo.
That is really forcing it. Holy crap. That is. I'm not making fun of people who like the show, but as a concept goes, that's really forcing it.
It's Disney.
There's no excuse.
I wasn't saying it as an excuse. I was just saying that's Disney. That's what they did. Yeah, I remember watching it, being mildly interested in it because of anthropomorphic animals and stuff. And excuse me, I thought it was pretty fun.
I mean, it probably is. I'm just simply saying if they wanted to do a sci-fi series about ducks, they could have done that without trying to hack together a connection to a movie that has nothing to do with it. I mean, that's just zero. There's just no connection there. That makes no sense.
Well, the main character, Wild Wing, is also the mascot for the, or was the mascot for the team.
Okay.
Yeah, they were ham-fisting it. Yeah.
I was about to say it. It's pretty forced.
Okay, yeah, it was his little brother. Okay. Wild Wing, Flash Blade, and his little brother Nosedive.
Nosedive?
Yes. Let's see.
Why not?
Duke L'Orange as a.
Yeah, I get it.
Mallory McMallard. Tanya Vanderflock. Czech Hardwing, also known as Grin, who was voiced by Brad Garrett. He was the giant duck who was always trying to. He was the peaceful yin yang dude, well, the Zen guy basically.
Okay.
And then,
So far, you're saying nothing that has anything to do with hockey or sci-fi, but okay, we're gonna go for it.
Well, I'm just telling you their names.
No, I get it. I'm not judging you, sweetie. I know you didn't make this up.
I mean, you'd have to, if you want to know all the connections, you'd have to watch the thing and read the stuff.
Just, I'm gonna try not to sound like a jerk and just go. I'm not going to do that because I don't think there's enough connections there. Okay, put it this way: I didn't even like the original movies that much.
There you go.
That is so funny. I don't understand why people don't like our shows.
They had a big fan following.
Well, the funny thing is I look at it and I go like, okay, Gummy Bears, actually a really good original idea. DuckTales, really good, solid original idea. Then you go down the list and you're going Rescue Rangers, that's a good rethink. You know, Tailspin wasn't one of the best, but fun idea.
Fantastic theme song.
Really great theme song. There's whole elements to it that I thought was really good. It's just I don't want to revisit it. and then you go like, all right, let's grab a movie franchise and force a sci-fi duck cartoon into it. You're like, that just sounds more like desperation and lack of creativity to me.
If I remember, they were also trying to come on, get back up here, Cooper. They were trying to kind of go along with the because there was a big Andro cartoon boom around that time period, and so they were trying. It seems like to me they were trying to cash in on that also, because around that same time we had and as bad as a lot of these were, we had Ninja Turtles were ending, so they needed something to go along with that. So we had Road Rovers, we had SWAT Cats, we had Street Sharks were coming through. Biker Mice from Mars. Yeah, a lot of that stuff was kind of popular,
Yeah,
and so they were trying to ride along with that too. So
sure. Well, we apparently had somebody. They said, hey,
hey,
and see ya.
how you?
See ya.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also, it was also a bunch of Disney afternoon shows that did not make it very well. Bonkers, Marsupilami, which Marsupilami was actually a French
What was it?
Marsupilami. It was actually
I remember the name. I don't remember the show.
it was actually a Disney development from a French comic. It was like let me say like 80s to 90s French comic.
Huh.
Because the French were doing a lot of really cool. Their Disney comics were amazing, or are amazing still. But yeah, it was Marsupilami was this really weird looking creature. It was like a monkey with leopard spots and a very super long tail, lived in the jungle.
I don't think I saw it.
I'll see if I
That
can-
doesn't sound familiar at
I'll
all.
put up a picture, see if it's good picture maybe. This guy.
I am certain I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it was very short-lived. After we got this. Oh man.
About to say, what the heck is that?
Oh, that's why the okay. Because I would say he kind of looked like this his design was kind of Smurf looking because it was designed by the same guy who did Smurfs, like back in 1952.
I was about to say there was something very classic looking about it, but I'm going like,
I see. I think. Let me. Okay, no, not by the same guy who did the Smurfs, but the Smurfs was. I don't know his name. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, first appearance 1952. But yeah, Disney did a short-lived series about that and wasn't very receptive. I remember just watching a few episodes.
well, I always find it funny that when Disney does something right, it's brilliant. It's just right, and it's usually when they come up with something new. You know, like back in it was a lot of the 80s and early 90s. It was the Saturday morning cartoon stuff. And I'm not saying these are the greatest shows ever, because some people just don't like them. But they were good shows. You know, like I said, Gummy Bears was a good idea. DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, all of them. They were all really good ideas. And then when I hit moments where I'm looking at Disney going like, guys, this isn't good. And what it is it's usually they're trying to play like the marketing game, like that Mighty Ducks series. It's like, actually, if they had done a series about real kids, you know, kind of like like Recess or that kind of thing, and it's like, well, that might have been good, but instead you're forcing in sci-fi ducks who play hockey on a hockey planet. You're going like, this just feels like a lot of marketing to me. And I'm going like, and I'm not a hockey fan, but I'm like, if I was going to watch something about hockey, let's really get into hockey. Let's not make hockey interesting by making like Space Ducks play it. Not that I'm against Space Ducks playing hockey. I'm just saying, guys, this come up with new ideas, because that's when you're the best. Because when you recycle or rehash ideas and sort of do these meh shows over and over again, I'm like, you're messing up your brand. Because I really, when they get it right, I really like it. You know.
There was also their other one that another show that they did that didn't do very well was Bonkers.
I vaguely remember
It
Bonkers.
was a bobcat that became a cop, and he would always just kind of, it was trying to be like a Roger Rabbit type character.
Okay, that vaguely sounds familiar.
Yeah, his partner was a lady whose name was Miranda Rights.
It's a good name.
I remember the theme songs. I like the theme song, as stupid as it was. And I have that weird knack for remembering songs,
Sure.
especially stupid ones. But yeah, his best friend was a rabbit named Fall Apart Rabbit. That was
Don't remember that.
it was like Droopy and Roger Rabbit had a weird kid. And he would literally fall apart. Like his nose would fall off, an arm would fall off.
Okay, I'm gonna try not to sound like a jerk, but that sounds dreadful. That sounds really dreadful.
The show was again meh at the best. It was okay. I remember a couple of episodes of me going, "Oh, this is actually getting interesting," but no, it was kind of meh.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like when Disney is good, they are so excellent, but the rest of the time you're like, what are you doing?
All right, let me see. Bonkers. Now I'm gonna look them up. Let's see they did Kim and Marsupilami. There was a TV block called Raw Tunage. And
Check out the raw tunage.
Raw Tunage. That was their thing, and it was like little blips of these particular cartoons and stuff, and he was one of them, and then got put into his own series. And it was like 93, 94. But yeah, he was it was Bonkers the Bobcat, an anthropomorphic bobcat who was a popular cartoon star, washed out of the show business and became a cop. He was made the junior partner of Detective Lucky Pequot, a grim and ill-tempered human who hates tunes. Throughout the series, the pair worked together to solve crime in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. Bonkers repeatedly tried to win Pequot's praise, but usually ended up just ruining missions and his antics. After multiple episodes of work with Bonkers, Pequot was given a job at the FBI and was glad to finally be able to leave him. But after finally realized after all that time spent hating working with Bonkers, he had grown to love him. He took along the police radio, the light, Toots, and Fall Apart Rabbit. At the end of the Lucky episodes, Bonkers was given a new partner, the attractive officer Miranda Wright. Although also human, she was far more patient and tolerant of his antics than was Pequot.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So that was a nice little walk into Disney cartoon history.
Okay.
I can give you a lot more, but we're short on time.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty good for today
Yeah,
because
it was.
it's Saturday. I feel the moral need to be really lazy. So it's a deep need.
Just as God intended.
It's a deep, deep need to be very lazy at this point.
Hey man, and on the final day, God rested. If God can be lazy, why can't we?
Just in there in the tidy whities with the worn holes in it. Take a nap, dude. All right. Okay, we got ourselves some Darkwing Duck. And, of course, I did, as is tradition. Two characters are facing each other in the sketchbook. They will spend the rest of eternity locking lips. So, DW, meat bubbles.
That's not creepy.
That's wrong. That is wrong. Okay. That is not good for anybody. That is gonna get me on a watch list or something. I'm certain of it. And she's in preschool, isn't she?
Kindergarten.
Oh, that's just as bad.
It's above preschool. So.
That's bad. Anywho, everyone have yourself a good week. We will catch